And you can find us on Facebook.com/The Go Show with Mike Russell and on Instagram at The Go Show with Mike Russell. YouTube, Go Outdoors with Mike Russell, where you get to see the video of this beautiful smiling face. That's Julie Swan. She is the proprietor of Paw Ranch, and we are days away from going down and picking up our new pup. I am so very excited about this. So, Julie, welcome to the show. I wanted to have you on, not so much to talk about that. We're not going through a show of, hey, let's hear about Mike's new puppy. No. I want to talk to you about bringing a new dog, whether it's a hunting dog, whether it's a non-sporting dog into a hunting family, whatever it is. Let's talk about the process and really what we need to do. Now, Julie's background is obviously you are a breeder. Now, you breed what two breeds? I almost said species.
Some days they could be species, yes. German short-haired pointers and rat terriers. Yeah.
And rat terriers. And rat terriers don't sound as bad as they sound. Trust me. I had to look up rat terrier because it sounded yuck. And it was really cool. It's a cute little something. I love it.
Exactly. Definitely cute. Yeah. It keeps them alive. So it's good.
Yeah, good. I actually have a new adoptee adopted dog that if he wasn't cute, let me tell you what. But you are kind of a mad scientist, but in a really cool way. And what I mean by mad scientist is you don't just, I've got a male and a female and I'm going to breed them and I'm going to put the puppies on online and see if people want to buy them. You get into genetics, you get into really, really deep things. You get into nutrition, you get into what the dog should be as they come up in life to breeding age. And that's just always impressed me about you. So one of the cool things that I get to do is I get to call you or text you when I have a question about darn near anything from food to the like. So let's start this. Starting out with somebody doesn't have a dog and they're just bringing puppy home. Let's start with what they need to prep for before puppy arrives and then puppy comes home that day. Let's start with prep.
So for supplies, it's not too crazy. You want to get yourself a good quality dog food. So if you're going with a breeder, ask the breeder what they're feeding and that'll give you a good start. If you're getting a dog from a rescue, then just start researching what makes good dog food. And I even have a blog post on it, Dog Food 101. Just make coffee before you drink it because it's really a long. But anyway, as far as dog food goes, that's the main thing you want to sort out. Next is you want to figure out which avenue you want to take to do house training. I think house training is probably the number one thing that people pull their hair out over.
Yes.
So, then you don't have to worry about your dog and you can actually have fun and not freak out every 5 minutes looking for them.
Okay. Talk to me about that. You said food. So talk to me, what am I looking for? Because I know the blog post is long and we'll get people over the blog, but tell me what I'm looking for. And if you're watching on the video, I'm dancing all over the place because I'm trying to find my power cord.
I thought you were doing your yoga.
Downward dog. Yeah. No, continue. Sorry.
No, it's good. So what I like to see is ingredients that you kind of can understand what they are. So in the first 5 ingredients, I do like to see some sort of named meat. And what I mean by a named meat is something that is an actual species, right? Or so you would see beef, or you would see a menhaden, which is a type of fish. You don't want to
I would see that and I wouldn't know. I'd see menhaden and go, what? That's some chemical lab something nonsense.
It's a giant fish like a halibut, if that makes any sense.
That makes a lot of sense.
But then sometimes you'll see fish and it's well, what is fish? So that's not a named meat. Or you'll say poultry. Well, poultry isn't a named meat. And so you want to see something where you actually recognize what variety. I feel like the dog food company should know which type of animal they're putting in there. They shouldn't just be well, it's some sort of poultry.
Parts is parts.
Exactly. And so that's what I want to see. You do want to see, I prefer to see meal. So for example, instead of just saying chicken, you want to see chicken meal. And the difference there is that meal is dehydrated chicken as opposed to chicken, which actually is 70% water when they put it into the recipe. And so it has that much water content. So if you took it out, it wouldn't be the first ingredient anymore if you took the water out.
Okay.
So we want the concentrated stuff. So that's the meal. So I had to look that up because I was in that world is meal. But yes.
And what do we stay away from food wise?
It depends on your dog. So, obviously I find that wheat, corn, soy, those are not as bioavailable. They're not as well digested for the dog when they take them into their system. And so you'd be like, oh, we have pea protein in here. Well, okay, that's a good binding agent, but it'll artificially inflate the protein that the dog can actually digest. And so
Oh,
you want,
okay.
and then one thing people are like, well, rice is terrible. Well, rice, it's just a cheaper binding agent, but all dog food, you can't just like take meat and stick it together. It has to have like something to stick to, and that is the binding agent, and that's usually the wheat or the corn or the rice. And so again, find what your dog digests well, and don't be afraid to kind of try out a couple.
Experiment, right?
A little
Okay.
bit.
All right,
Exactly.
so let's talk about puppies. So, do puppies have to have the little puppy in a can, little soft food, or do they can they just go right to hard food?
They go right to hard food. So puppies break their teeth through their gums at about 3.5, 4 weeks of age, give or take. And so like they're already chewing on mom's food before I start to wean them.
Okay.
And so that's good. And you should at 8 weeks old when you're usually getting a puppy, sometimes 7 in a couple of states, and then a little older, you should always have teeth at that point. And so that's fine. You don't have to water it down.
Oh, nice. Okay, well, right on. See, and that's what I thought. Puppy needs soft food and all of that. So, can I now? Let's. Well, no, we're sticking to new puppy here. All right. So now puppy comes home, and you talk about potty training, which is the biggest, the toughest part of the whole thing. I've seen bells on doors. I've seen pads that you scoot towards the door. I've seen people just take the dog out every couple hours and toss it onto the grass. What do you have any suggestions or recommendations for that?
Yeah, absolutely. So you want to set the dog up for success. And so to do that means preventing them from failing. So the dog is used to being in a pen. And so in our facility, we have an indoor and outdoor area, and the dogs already know to go outside. Um, and
Oh,
then a lot of breeders are litter training now. So in the wintertime, when my dogs can't be outside, they'll be litter trained indoors, which is cool. So they actually go in a litter box. It's a little bit
interesting.
easier than cat litter. Yep. So that's the hope. Now, sometimes if you get a dog from a shelter or rescue, they don't really have the time, the staffing, or facilities to make that happen. But dogs smell their stuff. So if you want to
Yeah.
take some stool from before and put it where you want them to go, and then take them out on a leash and have them smell that and say, great job after they're done going to the bathroom. Don't be afraid to, this is cheesy, but put a leash on yourself and hook your puppy to you when they're in the house and you have to work on your computer because you're not paying attention.
Ah,
And you'll feel that tug on the leash if they're trying to go to the bathroom. And that prevention makes it a lot easier to get the results you want.
oh, I like that. Okay, good. Now we'll do like the, just in case, we'll do like the baby gates and whatnot, just to kind of quarantine off carpet areas of the house. But
Yeah, got it.
what's that?
Well, the enzymes from dog urine are so hard to get out.
Yeah.
And that's what breaks down the urine, so they no longer see that as a bathroom place. So yes. If you
Okay.
can
Yeah.
keep it off carpet where you can clean it, you'll be better off.
Awesome. Good. So we're doing the baby gate thing, but so in its little kind of area where it's hanging out all the time and doing its thing, what kind of toys? Like some people say, stay away from the fuzzy toys. That just teaches them to tear up your clothes, all of that, or just Kong everything. So maybe it lasts 4 days. That
Yeah.
that type of deal. How about puppies? Puppies, just what do they want to play with?
They want whatever their drive tells them to do, right? So if you have a bird dog, right?
Mhm.
They are going to want to like hunt prey. They're going to want to stalk prey. They're going to like to chew things. All puppies really like to chew, especially as their teeth are coming out. Can you hear that puppy in the
I can
background?
hear the puppy. Yes, that's
He's
awesome.
very cute. That again keeps them alive. So and then you want to have things. If your dog is a guard dog, watchdog, they love the game tug. So you can grab a rope toy or some other stuffed animal. I try to buy stuffingless toys, and that's merely for my own sanity.
Yes.
So I'm able to avoid that. Do I need to
Amen
go
to
get
that.
the puppy? Is that
What's that?
I need to go get the puppy?
No, the puppy's fantastic. We can hear puppy. You're a breeder. This is what you do. We understand when you come on, we might hear a dog or two.
I sometimes forget that I hear it. Like it doesn't even register. So
It's awesome. All right, Julie Swan's with us from Paw Ranch. We're excited to get our new pup here very, very soon. We're just a few days away. And coming up, I want to talk about bringing a puppy home when there's other dogs in, whether the hunting dogs, not hunting dogs, sporting dogs, not sporting dogs, just dogs in general. And I had to prepare for that because, we have dominance issues, male, female. Julie is the pro at that. If you're thinking about getting another dog, adding to the team, you want to stick around right here to the Go Show. Stay tight. We'll be right back. Continuing with Julie Swan of Paw Ranch. She is my go-to for all things puppy. And we were just talking about just bringing a puppy home in general before the break. And now I want to switch to bringing a puppy home when there's puppies present, especially my team, all males. My team, it's alpha, and then now we'll bring in mini alpha, I'm sure. So we're bringing in a puppy. Is there anything we should do prior to the arrival of newbie or not?
Depending on your dogs, like you kind of have a feel for them, how they are with other dogs. The safest thing is you can go to a neutral party. So right now your dogs are considering your home, your territory, or their territory. So this new puppy is going to come in, and usually older dogs are pretty good with puppies because they're not so intimidating. But if you had an older dog, if the puppy was older or something, you definitely would like a neutral ground. So maybe the park or someone else's house is a pretty safe area.
Okay, and then how about for the puppy? What considerations do we need to make for puppy when big boys are around, big brothers are hanging out?
Yeah, I mean, like GSPs are crazy. So, the likelihood of your current GSP being like Mach 10 around the puppy and not realizing they're not as durable yet is high. It's a high probability.
Yeah.
And so you just want to, don't set them up for failure. Don't leave the house for the first time and just throw them in the same crate and be like, oh, they'll figure it out. You just don't do that. So you can get the puppy their own crate. Give priority to your current dog so you can still feed them first. If they're getting annoyed with the puppy, give them a break. Either put the puppy in a crate, put the puppy outside, separate them, and then know it can take up to 90 days for them to get along. It's kind of like an arranged marriage. Like, you're not going to be best buds.
It is true. Now, if I'm right, newbie that's showing up has some sort of lineage shares with Boba, right?
Yes, they actually have the same dad.
So they're half brothers.
Half brothers, yeah.
Yeah. So they still don't know that. They
have the same maternal grandfather. So your dog's maternal grandfather is the same as this new one.
Oh, wow. Okay. So they have a little bit of jig, but that doesn't mean anything. They're still going to take time to figure each other out. They're not going to be like, hey, I kind of get you. For some reason, I don't know why, but I kind of get you.
They'll have the same tendencies. I'll put it that way, because they're going to have 3/4 the same genetics. So.
Okay. All right. So chasing butterflies. Sweet. Don't use a laser pointer or you will lose paint on your walls if that's the case.
Really fun.
Okay, so day of introduction. You said neutral party. We throw them in there together, or I've heard people say like, you bring their bed or something so they get used to the scent or anything like that. Is that a thing?
I know it's like gross, but some people like sleep in a t-shirt with no deodorant on and then mail it to me, and I put it with their puppy.
I'm gonna pass on that one. Yeah, I liked it. Yeah.
But some people do that, and then I can have the puppy crate train with that t-shirt, and then the puppy will know your scent when they meet you. Because as much as we're visual as humans, dogs are all nose. So like everything we do is like nose oriented. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so maybe when somebody comes and picks up the puppy, maybe they do bring the other puppy's bed, the other dog's bed, or something like that, right? Maybe so they get used to that scent.
You could, and that'll also be on your clothes too, and they'll get used to it. I don't think it's bad. Dogs can oddly differentiate. Like you could put 5 smells in like one bucket, and like we would just smell nasty, and they would be like, "Oh, that's a little bit of this and a little bit of this." Like they're incredible.
Well, you have to get your mind around that when you see how much they smell of the dog's butts. So, and then they go smell of the dog's poop. So yeah, I think you got to get your mind around that they're separating scents in everything, not just, wow, they sure love the smell of poop.
Exactly. It's totally disgusting, but we have to embrace and love them for
it. That's why they're cute, so they stay alive. I see a theme that we got going on here. Now, let's talk about territory. Maybe you bring them home, and maybe the dogs aren't into this. They're like, hey, wait a second. This is a foreign invader, and we need to get this foreign invader out of here. Maybe there's some aggression or something. What do you suggest?
Oh, well, it's always nice when they meet on leashes, that way you can separate them. It's not fun breaking up a dog fight. You usually won't have a dog fight with puppies, but you'll get a really injured puppy. Um, and so that's the balance. And then a lot of times, they're just really annoying for older dogs. Like young puppies are like, let's play, let's play, let's play. And they're like, you can go away now, So
But you said give him a break. Giving him a break is a good idea.
Yes, and by break, give if your older dog is crate trained and they enjoy that quiet time of the crate, you can do that, or you can like lock them in your bedroom if they sleep on your bed or something, and just let them have their own time, or put the puppy outside for a while, just something.
This is all speaking my language. So basically, treat them like people treat me. Just like, look, Dad needs some time alone. Let's just
tell him he looks great with a tan. Like, just get him out.
Somebody get Dad a fishing pole and get him out of here. Yeah.
Exactly. So I have a mind thing I want you to work with, right? So
okay.
Here's crazy. So you're bringing home a new puppy, and I want you to think of your new puppy like a kindergarten foreign exchange student.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So let me play that out. All right.
Okay.
So kindergarten meaning like they're young and they do not have the maturity that you have, in theory. Right. And so
Julie knows me.
And so they have this, they're still growing up. And then they also have this giant language barrier, but it's not just a language barrier, it's a cultural barrier. And so being that you're the older, in theory, smarter one of the two in this relationship, you kind of need to adapt to learn their language and learn and understand their culture. And so when you kind of like look at your puppy, and like dogs, they can't be malicious. They can't be mean. They don't even have the capacity for those emotions. And so if your dog is acting a fool about something, that's just his natural reaction. And you have to figure out, like, okay, in his culture, in his language, what would make him think that? And once you kind of backwards work that, you can find usually the source of any weird problem that you're having with your dog.
And so then, so foreign exchange student, I like where we're going here, because then you would want to culturally understand where they came from. So in our case, is our puppy's going to come from Paw Ranch, which has not just one or two other dogs.
I only breed dogs. Yeah.
But there's other animals there too, right? No?
We have some, I've got some ducks and chickens right now and some rabbits, but so yes.
So basically, he's going to an area where he's like, what is this? There's no other animals in the backyard, but there's these two big dudes that just seem like they're kind of weirded out that I'm here and I am in a foreign place.
Well, they're going to love it. But also know with the culture, it's what they're bred for, right? And so people get annoyed because herding dogs are like at your foot every moment. And they're like, well, what am I supposed to do? You're supposed to tell me what to do. And you're like, just go do what you want to do. But they're like, but I don't know how to do that. And they've been bred to not make decisions, because when herding animals, you don't want them to make decisions. You want them to keep checking in with you. And so here they are doing what they're supposed to do, bred in them, and we're mad at them about it. It doesn't make sense. Yeah. We have to just understand that that's their tendencies. And so we have to work with those tendencies.
I was overseeding my backyard a couple of years ago, and I had Boba and Django. And I thought, okay, we're not worried about the birds eating the seed because we got the dogs out there in the back. That's no big deal. I look out back and there's about 70 dove that are eating all of the seeds in my grass. I'm like, where's Boba and Django? Said, in the back. And I look in the back and they're just locked on all of these birds and just trembling and staring at them. I'm like, oh, well, I guess that makes sense. They're not chasing them. They're pointing at them.
Right.
I yelled, I forget what I yelled. I release or something stupid. It wasn't even a command we'd worked on, and they just shot at him, man. It looked like a party favor going off in the backyard. Wow. Okay, so Julie Swan from Paw Ranch is joining us. And what advice, because last time you were on, you gave some advice to people that were just thinking about getting into the breeding world and things like that, and you're starting a whole podcast. Your blog is fantastic. It's a wealth of information. And so real quickly, how about people that are first-time litter? They're giving puppies to now people. What do you suggest they talk to owners and tell them what they need to do? Because that's got to be tough the first time around.
Yeah, I would honestly encourage the owners they would encourage the breeders to encourage their owners to continue to ask them questions and talk to them. Generally, if you're already in breeding dogs, you have a few more resources And then you can see commonalities across dogs, which is really helpful in selecting your next dogs. And then just so set them up for success. Let them know what dog food they're on. Let them know what's worked for you at your home with your dogs. I have like a line of dogs that they sleep with a ball in their mouth. Like it's just what they do. And so,
Awesome.
it's like a pacifier. So here,
Sure.
get your dog a ball. They'll be quiet and then go to sleep. So those little tidbits are really helpful to pass on.
All right. Julie Swan is a wealth of knowledge, and I'm sure she can answer questions for you as well, especially with her blog and her podcast. Julie, where can they find you?
You can find me at Bear Paw Ranch, is on my Instagram, or bearpawranch.co for the website. And then if you're looking at breeding, you can find me at The Honest Dog Breeder on Instagram or thehonestdogbreeder.com.
Yeah, the honest dog breeder. She is. She really is. She's the one right there. I mean, that way on the video over there. That one right there. All right, more coming up on the Go Show. Stay right there.